Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Total Spotfest. And you know what that means. That's right, AEW Dynamite review. We have NXT review. We have a big trade or small trade, depending on who you are. Tons of news. Somebody's going to get hitched. This is Total Spotfest.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to Total Spotfest. I am JJ Brownlee, accompanied as always by my co-host, Mr. Jamie Faulkner.
Or Mark Stradamus.
Mark, the Mark Stradamus himself. We're gonna
Struck
see
again. Struck again.
I know.
Just saying.
It gets it. Yeah, you think this is annoying. I mean, I've been dealing with this for damn near a decade. So, hey, it happens. It's okay. Learn to love it, folks. Learn to love it.
I need one of those hats.
Well, you can go on Etsy and help yourself out. So thank you guys for joining us. This is Total Spotfest, like I said. We do appreciate you joining us for our AEW review. AEW, starting in AEW and NXT, just because of the timing of everything. So we're going to talk about NXT, but we're going to talk about AEW's excellent Fyter Fest Night 1 tonight. So much stuff going on. Oh, so if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for it. We appreciate it. You can join the conversation by hitting a comment down below. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, all the things. It does help us out quite a bit. And if you're listening to us, you want to give us a shout, it is at Total Spotfest on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook. It is, at Total Spotfest. It's Total Spotfest everywhere. So just look it up. We're there. So. All right, Jamie, how you been, man? I know you're off for the rest of the weekend. You got a action-packed softball weekend going on with not my champion.
Yes, hashtag definitely your champion. She is playing her final games with her current team. We are officially moving teams. It's kind of like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash playing their do the last thing at Madison Square Garden with the Click, and next thing you know, on Monday she's gonna show up on Nitro. Yeah.
Right. So she's turned into an outsider, is what you're saying. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. She's gonna eventually form the NWO. I'm pretty excited for her.
There you go.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be good. We'll be hot and sweaty and gross, but it'll be fun.
It's not supposed to be so bad this weekend, so thank God for that. I don't know where you guys are living at, but it's been hot as all get up here in Kansas City. But it's feeling. Gonna feel pretty good this weekend. It's gonna feel really good in a couple weekends because we are coming up on 2 weeks. Tomorrow, 2 weeks until 78 weeks later with Journey Pro, and god damn are we excited.
Understatement. After talking with Walter last week, and if you guys have not had a chance to listen to our interview with Walter, do yourself a favor, go listen to it.
Absolutely.
He's one of the promoters and the owners of Journey Pro. Great guy. We talked all sorts of good stuff, but after talking to him and him talking about some of the talent that's going to be there and what their plans are, man, I am jazzed up and cannot wait to see live wrestling again. It's been way too damn long.
It's our first show since the pandemic happened. We have not been to a live wrestling show, and this will be the first one that you and I have attended. And Walter had, it felt like, like you said, talking to, like you and me talking, because it felt like he's like one of us, right? Mm-hmm. Started because he wanted something different, and we've been clamoring for, yes, freaking yes. And oh my God, it was great. If you go back and, like Jason, go back and watch it. If you want to skip right to it, I put timestamps in the description. You can skip right to the interview if you feel like it. You want to skip over all the other stuff and the news and all the other reviews that we do. Just skip right to the interview. It was great. And we did have a winner. We got in touch with our winner. Apparently the messaging system is removed out of YouTube as I remembered it. So if we do want to give away in the future, I'm going to think of a better way to communicate this because
we'll switch it to Twitter because that's where you can get us.
Yeah,
or Facebook Messenger on our Facebook page.
We're gonna make it a lot easier to get a hold of us because I was assuming that it was anyway. So, but we did get a hold of Dusty, the son of a plumber. See, I got it right this time.
Son of a plumber man.
Son of a plumber, and so he's excited, he's amped, and we're happy to do that. So, are we gonna do that again in the future? Maybe. You just gotta listen and find out.
I would expect we would at least do one or two more.
That's you're supposed to leave them hanging. That's kind of like
I'm
the
not
pitch
saying
there.
when,
Okay,
though.
all right.
Maybe the next giveaway might be merch. One of our new hot off the presses T-shirts that are total.
I
The
really was
Spotfest
hoping
Club.
they'd be here by today, but they're not.
I know.
Jamie and I we made shirts, so we're gonna be wearing Spotfest T-shirts. If for those of you listening, if you're going to Journey Pro, will be easy to find. Just look for the teal Spotfest Club shirts, and we're not going to show it to you ahead of time. We're not going to preview it at all. But if you follow us and you know what our pages look like on any place you listen or watch us, they'll be easy to discern. Let's just put it that way. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to get into NXT and AEW real soon here. We don't really have much news. Really, one thing I just wanted to say, because it seems to be that season, and it keeps going on, It's kind of like, you get out of college, those first few years, you get all your buddies get married, and then you get married. Not me, of course, but everyone else. And it's going on with wrestling. Another engagement was announced. Sheamus got himself engaged in the past week. So congrats to Sheamus and his stunning fiance, and their 4 fur babies are making it official. Apparently, they started I read she posted up there like a St. Patty's Day picture, and there's that they got a dog each year on St. Patty's Day for 4 years in a row, and she's finally he's posting whenever she posts loving photos of the family or whatever. And she goes, and no more puppies. And no more puppies. She keeps putting, because apparently Sheamus would have a whole rescue dog pound in his house if he wanted to. I thought that was funny.
That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
but yeah, congratulations, Sheamus.
Yes. Congratulations to our favorite pasty white Celtic warrior.
Even the pastiest can find love. So, all right. So, let's say we don't really have much news. We're going to get right into it. So, Tuesday night was NXT. So this is their post Great American Bash show. And the good news is that viewership for this was up, and up pretty good clip too. So they were at 654 the week before. They dipped a couple grand, right?
Yep.
705,000 views was this particular show.
Nice. That's
That
a nice
is
growth.
That is that's almost 50,000 in the plus. So, or maybe a little more than 50,000. I'm doing the math. So good for them. So the show was good. It was a solid show. There was actually a lot of matches in the show too. A lot of little short matches, but pretty good overall.
I did not get a chance to watch it, so everybody, I apologize. It was Megan Two Belt's birthday, as I said on the last one. So so
it happens. Okay, well, there's definitely some stuff worth going back and watching. I'll just kind of blow through it real fast, and you can go watch it. # not my champion. So, first of all, was Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai starting off there. Okay, Ember, and they totally confirmed the whole thing. Shotzi officially, up on SmackDown. And apparently, here's the thing. It's the last time we talked about them changing their names. Apparently, they're only changing Shotzi's name. Is because on WWE.com, I saw screen caps of WWE.com with their SmackDown profiles. Somebody put it on Twitter. I don't know who or where. But it has Tegan Knox. So she's still known as Tegan Knox. And then just Shotzi, one word.
That's so dumb.
What's
She's
wrong?
Shotzi Blackheart.
What is wrong with Shotzi Black? It's I don't get why they have to do that. Anyway, but so Ember Moon refocusing herself, whatever. Ended up Dakota Kai got the win though. And then afterwards, Xia Li comes out, does the whole blow past Dakota. This is kind of like par for the course. Blows right past, Dakota Kai, goes up. If this is long-term storytelling, I keep hammering for the idea about Dakota's the one to take the belt off of Raquel. She turns face and doing it. If that is indeed in the works, the long-term storytelling for this is phenomenal because every challenger for Raquel comes out after a Dakota victory, blows past her like she doesn't exist, and so it could give her this kind of complex, and it would facilitate her need for attention, which is why she'd turn on Raquel. I'm just saying. That's a thought I had when it happened. It's because everybody seems to do that. Just walk right past the Kel. So they do anyway.
But
she
then
goes up.
If that's the case, then in my opinion, it wouldn't be a face turn. It'd be like a darker heel turn.
It'd be a dark heel turn. Maybe it makes Raquel face. Maybe just heel versus heel. I don't know. That's a good point.
Heel versus, like, if you're going that route, which I think that is the long-term play. I agree with you. So Mark Stradamus thinks that is great storytelling, and they have the minds down there to do that. But I think it'd be darker heel versus heel, and then Raquel would lose, and because they love the big tall women up on the main roster. You know how they feel about that because they're freaks of nature and not wrestlers, which don't get me started on all that shit. But then she'll be sent up there before she's ready and get buried.
Well, again, whether that happens or not, I would not be surprised in the least bit. But I think that because the thing is, like, Io turned and she got really dark when she turned, right? After she turned, like, she came out with the whole Josie Judas thing, and then that week after that, she came out for Takeover with the new entrance that she has, and it was like, holy shit, what is that? But then she flipped it and became face. So
you mean the greatest entrance that is currently in all of WWE?
So good. And I remember when that happened. I think I texted you and Young Boy because I was like, oh my God, did you just see Io's entrance? And I was baffled by it. It was so good. Anywho, Xia Li's challenges Raquel. Raquel doesn't back down from a challenge, so next week they're going to have a title match. So there's that.
Then she's... Okay, so hold on. I know we got to get through this, but Xia Li hasn't lost since she's been doing this whole thing.
She hasn't. I don't think she'll win. I think it's highly likely that the match will get thrown out one way or another.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, somehow, some way, it's not going to happen, or no contest, or somebody wins via
disqualified,
DQ, some bullshit thing in order to keep it going,
and
then it'll become a triple threat. Then she doesn't lose.
Maybe, or maybe they just could string that on for a little bit. I don't know. To me, it felt kind of out of nowhere. It's like, okay, there's no build up for that. I mean, do you think that Raquel's going up soon to the main roster?
It would make sense because they need women like bad because they got rid of everybody.
Right. I mean, they just took 3 though. So
I know, but they lost Ruby. Hi, Ruby.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. But anyway.
You didn't say it right either way. Speaking of Ruby, I'm actually going to go on a sidetrack for a note since you brought it up. So the Bennett's, so Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett do an interview with some podcast. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but so they were asking about it, and talking about all the stuff. Bennett, how he's actually refound his love of wrestling and all this stuff, and Maria, the things she's doing over at Ring of Honor Women's Division, and Chelsea Green, all this stuff. So he asked them, who would they like to see of the people who were released over there? And Maria just goes, Ruby. Well, she said Heidi a lot, but yes. So she just kept clamoring for it, and Mike goes, well, there's a bunch of people, I mean, Maria wants to see Ruby Riott or Ruby Soho or whatever. Hey, Ruby, see, that's how you do it. But yeah. So anyway, it is very interesting because the amount of fangirlism, if you would, that Maria was throwing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we're of the assumption that Ruby's a better fit in
AEW.
Thank you. Yeah. What's a who's it's? So in AEW, and I think the timeline matches, the battle royal. Anyway, but we'll see. I found it interesting. So. This whole thing, this whole Xia Li thing, it came out of nowhere. I don't really know where they're going with this, but I think the match is going to be stellar. Xia Li's looked ridiculously good since they finally figured out what the hell her character was, instead of this
new character of her. I love this aggression. I love everything about it. Her striking looks great. I love me some Xia Li. Right. She's built like a damn brick shithouse. Like, she is more shredded than Julian Sao, man. And she can go. I like this whole thing, but I agree with you. Like, it's out of left field. Is it the right time for this to happen? Because it feels like, we're building up Dolph Ziggler, he's really good. Oh, we're going to have him face John Cena and get absolutely buried. And next thing you know, you never hear from him again.
I mean, yeah. Does it feel like that? Sure as shit does. But we'll see what happens. But there's a title match next week for them. So there's that. After that, you had the start of the promos that just you need to go back and watch. If nothing else. You've probably seen them on. You watched one. You watched. You can watch them online too, But
yes.
Yeah, the Butler promos, and like I predicted, this is just gold. It's so good. These two, who'd have thought? These two play off each other so well. I'm still sticking by my guns. Long-term booking, make them a tag team at some point in the future because they are the ultimate odd couple. I mean, bickering old married couple. LA Knight is just money on a mic, and Cameron Grimes has finally found his rhythm where he's not annoying everybody, but still keeping those who always liked him entertained. So he shows up a few minutes late, to be the Butler, and he's like, you can't have you looking like this. So he gives him a makeover, right? So they trim off all the scraggliness off his beard, make it look all nice, get him all slicked back, put him in a tuxedo with white and the white this and the white gloves, and get all done. And then Cameron's sitting there, and he's just like, well, hot damn, I look good. Look at me. Look at these gloves. He's like loving every second of it. And I was like, no. You look like a butler. You look like it's like not everything that he tries to do in all these promos is not the response from Cameron that he wants at all.
That's great. Okay, I did appreciate that when I watched it. I thought
it was.
Cameron Grimes is slow. Like, he is Novocaine on me. Like, he's either I'm getting worn down by it, or he's varying it just enough where I'm like, okay, it's not as bad as it was.
Yeah. Well, he was getting like serious like X-Pac heat before the pandemic, because they didn't give him any. He was just a guy that wrestled really good that they just kind of threw out there. This type of character needed some more, weight behind it, and now it has that eventually. So, I mean, maybe that's it. We'll see. There's a few more that happen later on the night. One I like it because he's like, "You're gonna mow my lawn," and he goes, of course, he's all about it because he loves mowing lawn. He used to mow his granny's lawn, so he's gonna go walk over to the trailer, and he's like, no, I like good details. So he gives him like a push mower, like one of those old school, like the circular,
thing.
And it's like, I got him. And Cameron goes, because he's like, I want the detail. And Cameron goes, well, that's okay. I remember my granny, she used to chase me all over the yard with this thing. I'll be just fine with this. And he just starts taking off and going along. And so that doesn't work. And then it comes back to the last promo at the end of the night where Cameron Grimes sitting there in his like Speedo inside of his pool area.
Yeah.
And there's a kid doing the work. And he's like, what the hell's going on? Well, see, I had the money, so I delegated out. So he hired some local kids, a neighborhood kid, whatever. The whole thing ends with, he's going to pay the kid, and LA Knights basically go, F you, and he knocks the money out. And Cameron goes, like, pick up the money. He's going to rake it up with a broom or a rake, and he bumps LA Knight. LA Knight falls in the pool. Then he screams like the old $1 Million Man. Ah, you got me, sort of thing. It's good. It's good. It's really good. I love this. You had Tyler Russ versus Bobby Fish. Okay, so what are they gonna do with Bobby Fish? What are they gonna do? That's kind of what they're gonna do. He ends up. Tyler Russ gets the win. There was a distraction by Roderick Strong, and then Kushida comes out and kind of saves Bobby Fish from getting beat up. This would have been the perfect time to pull Kyle O'Reilly in to save Bobby Fish.
But Kyle's doing other things.
I know they want to push him as a main eventer, and he's got the wrestling chops for it, but the character I just don't see on the level. And even if you just do this for like a few weeks just to kind of clear the palate. He just lost Adam Cole. He just lost clean to Adam Cole in a great match, but clean as shit, Get him a few weeks before you put him right back in the picture. You got other fish to fry. No. See what I did there? I mean, you could have at least, added, because this is another little pin you could put in to continue. If you want to continue the story on long term, that's the way you do it. But next week there's going to be a tag match between Kushida and Fish versus the Diamond Mine guys. So there's that. And then, you got a quick little away promo where, it shows like Beth, as they're arriving at the CWC, Beth pulls into the side and always says, to take a chance on Dexter, kind of go out of her comfort zone. She's all about Index, right? So,
she's
then
hook, line, and sinker, and I'm here for it.
And there's more payoff later on with that. So then you had Saray, because there's no Tony Storm. What the hell you do? Well, you had Gigi Dolan in there, former Priscilla Kelly, which, we love me some Priscilla Kelly. This new character of hers, I feel, is a step back because they, I think that she's getting indoctrinated to the WWE way, so that's why they're kind of slow building her up. But she's got potential, definitely. I mean, she'll get there one day.
Yeah.
Saray wins, not necessarily a squash match, but Saray definitely wins. The interesting thing was, in the middle of the match, Mandy Rose came out onto the ramp and stood at the top of the ramp and watched the rest of the match. And you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I'll get back to that in a second. Because after that, after that, you had Dexter Lumis and Santos Escobar. Very good match. Very entertaining match here. Santos got the win. Of course, thanks to some distractions by Legado, like always, because he's a heel. You got to get that heel move.
Yep.
Afterwards, though, they came back from break, and it showed that during the break, Indy came out and picked up Dexter very much the same way that he picked up her after they lost their titles last week, and she carried him. And if you follow Indy on Instagram, she's been hitting the gym pretty hard. She's been working a lot on her back and her shoulders, doing all the weights and stuff. Still, Dexter is a large man, and Indy is while she's more of a powerhouse of a woman. So she made it around the ring. It's kind of the shtick too. So she made it to the beginning of the ramp. They kind of tripped and fell, and then he fell down and she landed kind of like on top of him ish, and she's going in for the kiss, right? She's going to make her move. And here comes Candice LeRae running down and pushes her off and then drags her off so keep it going.
That was great. Yes.
Keep it going. So that's so good. The first of the NXT breakout tourney matches, it was Duke Hudson, who's an Australian guy, 6'5", 270, good look, good body, prototype Vince McMahon-esque guy, really.
Okay, yeah.
He's got the whole like arrogant shtick to him, versus Akima Njiro, who we've seen before. He's the Japanese wrestler who wrestles with the sport coat on.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like part of his shtick, and they did like a poll online for which jacket he would wear. I don't know. He was entertaining. I like this. Duke looked good, but he didn't really look revolutionary of any sort. I mean,
it's like you've seen it 150,000 times in WWE.
Yeah. Which is, it's not bad to see a good wrestler, and he's good wrestler. I mean, his finale. I mean, his finisher was Boss Man Slam. So it's like he didn't really bring anything new to the table. At least Jiro has something different about him. Even though I don't the whole jacket thing I think is dumb, it's something different. At least who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's breakout tournament and a bunch of setup stuff. Then you had a women's tag match. You had Kane Carter and Casey Catanzaro, who be getting a lot more airtime, which I'm happy for. I think they both have put in their chops, getting squashed like a son of a bitch. That they've earned actually some matches, right? So you had them versus Robert Stone Brand, so Leah and Jesse Kamea. This ended up being Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. They're both K and C, and Team Ninja, if you would. They ended up winning. And afterwards, Aaliyah snapped and lost it and just beat the shit out of Robert Stone in the ring.
Which is amazing.
To a massive pop, I will say. It's not a huge audience, I know, at NXT because of the studio. But that was by far the loudest pop of the night was for Aaliyah. and that surprised me in a very good way because I feel we talked about this before how we feel she's grossly undervalued, right?
Yeah. Oh, hardcore.
Well, then word came out. So after that was done, and then she left and behind whatever, and Jessica Kamea is kind of sitting at ringside, like not really knowing what's going on. Here comes Frankie Monet, who had teased, like stealing them away from Robert Stone, right? And she ends up kind of like comes out and he says something to Robert, and then gets Jesse to walk out with her. So later on, they were doing a thing where she's walking and she's leaving. And she got Jesse beside her, and Robert Stone's falling around like a broken puppy or something, right?
Yeah.
Now, so we think that's the faction is going to be is that she's going to be now with Frankie Monet with Robert Stone as their gimp. I don't know, but something of that nature. And I say that because it came to light afterwards that Mandy Rose pulled that pin out. Boop. Apparently, there's a trade, Mandy Rose for Aaliyah. So Mandy Rose is supposedly going to be on NXT, and Aaliyah is supposed to be taking her place moving up to Raw, which I feel good and bad for Aaliyah.
Yep.
Because good for her, she's getting that recognition. Bad because she's going to get buried like a son of a bitch. Yep. But luckily they don't have very many women. Who knows? Maybe, whatever. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
So the whole Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose thing's done then. That's
the Vince's wet dreams, the muscle Barbies. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that did not last long.
It should have never started, but
Fair. Absolutely fair.
I only know of one person who actually liked them as a tag team outside of Vince. It was Young Boy.
Oh, yeah, fair. Yeah. Aaliyah, so here's the thing. I'm hoping this happens for Aaliyah like it happened for somebody else that paid her dues in NXT. So there was another woman wrestler in NXT that didn't get the big push, didn't get all the stuff, but then when she went to the main roster, became an ultra megastar. It wasn't one of the 4 horsewomen. I'm talking about Alexa Bliss.
Right.
So obviously you probably figured that out.
I knew that, yes.
I'm hoping the same thing happens for her because she is a very good talent, and I hope nothing but the best for her. I hope nothing but for the best for all of them, but she's got the goods. She's got the ability.
She's put the work in, for God's sake. I mean, she got buried for like 3 straight years, just continual squash. And
if that NXT crowd had any indication of what she could be, like
they ate it up. I mean, the only person I think that got a bigger cheer the whole night was Johnny Gargano when he came out. That was like they were. It was over, like legitimately over. So,
so I hope
we'll see. We'll see. Then lastly, you had Adam Cole did a promo where he's shooting. He comes onto the ring. He's shooting on Samoa Joe. They're setting up that long-term goal, and then he says that there's no one man enough to face him. Well, answered, of course, by someone who is man enough. That would be Bronson Reed. And yes, please give me that. Give me that match tomorrow. So, yes. And then you had your main event, the NXT Championship match, which was Johnny Gargano versus Caden Cross with Samoa Joe as a special guest referee. Okay, this was a good enough match. It was the exact same match you would get from Karrion Kross, though. I'm starting to wail on him like Nick had, and like you were kind of like because I start to see it now that he's very good, but he's also very good at one thing.
Yes. And
it's like, here's a guy that can do damn near his opponent. He could go damn near anything, right? He turned like him versus Bronson Reed, a guy twice his size, into must-watch wrestling. His feud against Adam Cole was legendary. Him and Tommaso Ciampa put on some of the best matches I've seen in WWE's universe ever, right? So. And this match was good enough, but it was that way mainly because of Johnny. I mean, Johnny doesn't move. Karrion stands up immediately and and runs at him. It's like, okay, yes.
He's Goldberg.
He's Goldberg with a little more skill. Let's put it that way. He has actual skill, but he doesn't branch out in a direction. He just keeps it in this one freaking lane. So anyway,
Or he's like old school Taker when Taker first came out.
that to me is more accurate. Yeah, I won't go down the Goldberg path. I would say he's old school Taker. Where
Just does the one thing, and then as soon as he lost the urn, he started to branch out. Maybe he just needs to lose his urn. Scarlet Bordeaux.
Well, there's talk about because he's going up sometime soon, right? There's talk about splitting them up, like having her go in a different direction, and I'm like, first of all, I don't know if that's good for her because you've given her no legs to stand on, but it's great for him because we can finally see him do something different. I don't know.
She needs to wrestle because she's actually a good wrestler.
She's a good wrestler. Maybe she doesn't want to wrestle. I'm just saying, maybe. We see no indication of her even getting close to stepping into the ring for a wrestling match. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's behind the scenes. They don't want her to, or they like her as this, or maybe she doesn't feel like it or doesn't want to. I can't say. I have no idea. I have no insider info there. So
yeah.
Karen Cross won, by the way. He won, and then afterwards he choked out Samoa Joe.
Interesting.
So my prediction was completely backwards there. I said Joe was gonna, because he got physical with Joe, and then Joe's like, all right, it's on, and it led to him getting choked out, and that's the way the show ended with him putting Joe to sleep. So interesting. We shall see what happens with that. I mean, he's definitely provoked now, so we're gonna see a match, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
This could be a way to get the belt off him too. Joe beats him, but Joe's not eligible to hold the title, so the title's now open. Right,
then they do a tournament. Yeah,
a tournament or like a crazy ass ladder match or something stupid at the next takeover. This could be the way they do it. Just saying.
I like that.
That was NXT. Like I said, there was quite a bit that happened. I didn't mean to take that long with it, but it definitely was quite a bit that happened. So
yeah.
All right, let's move to the meat of the matter because last night was Fyter Fest and. Okay, before you get into it, so AEW Fyter Fest, so the show number 2 of them being live, right? Last week felt like kind of a lot of good fan service in a manner of speaking, right? It's like I said, the exhale, we're finally live again, right? It's like the joy of being there. This felt like the new beginning, right? Did you get that feeling?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, the arena was almost like the exact same style arena that they had their very first show in DC was because it had the same look of everything from their very first show.
Yeah, it really did.
It felt like a new beginning. So, Jamie, why don't you go lead us through Fyter Fest Night 1?
Okay, so to your point, it was hot. Like, that whole place, they let you know exactly where you stood. I loved it. Texas crowds are fun crowds. They're definitely not Northeast crowds. I mean, just like Kansas City isn't, but not to say that they're not good.
Well, this is Austin crowd too. The crowds are different. Austin, San Antonio, than like Houston, than like Dallas. They are a little bit different. So yeah.
So yeah, this one was a good one, man. It started off with a match. It started off with the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship match of Jon Moxley with Eddie Kingston coming out to Wild Thing again against Carl Anderson with Doc Gallows.
And if you couldn't tell that Moxley was happy to be wrestling in front of real people, you were not watching. Because, oh my God, he was so...
He seemed giddy. About it.
He did. He came out from the side and then he stopped and then jumped over the rail, then went up in the crowd, then came back and he didn't want to stop. He just like, give me more of this. It's great.
Yeah,
it was good.
These guys love being in front of people and it shows. So right off the bat, this match, it became a singles match really quick because Eddie Kingston definitely did his job and just went right after Doc Gallows. So then it just became a singles match. It was actually a really damn good match.
It was a good match.
I don't give Carl Anderson enough credit for being a really good wrestler. Homeboy's a good wrestler.
Well, you did last week. You said last week that you thought this would be a really good match because Carl Anderson can put on a match. So
yeah, so
you did. I'm giving you your props, Mark Stradamus.
Thank you. So again, there's one of the night. I hit a couple others. Then Carl hits a gun stun. Mox's nose starts bleeding, and then Carl hits a TKO, which I thought was really cool. Mox catches a leaping gun stun. I always want to call it a stun gun, but it's a gun stun. And
That's a terrible name.
I know, it should be a stun gun, but whatevs. Well, then he hits a ripcord clothesline, gets him a paradigm shift. 1, 2, 3. You're still defending champion of the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship is Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
Right after it.
Yeah. That's not the headline. The headline comes immediately after.
Right after it, you get Jake Snake Roberts and Lance Archer talking in looks like a shed. It's obviously the backstage area, and Archer just recounts, he lost his IWGP United States Championship to him in Tokyo in a Texas death match about 2 years ago, and talks about how great he was. But he's like, you know what? It's time for me to get my rematch, and I want to challenge you to another Texas death match in Texas next week.
Yeah, I was like, oh God, please, 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 please. Oh, so good.
Yes. Whoo, yeah. That's promo number 1 that got me going.
Mm-hmm.
There was a few other promos that got.
And this is the Lance Archer that I like. This is the Lance Archer that has the right amount of fire without being super heel, because he doesn't really do super heel. Very
not really
very good.
Like his whole monster persona thing that he did for a minute.
Right.
Nah.
This right here is that sweet spot for him. So
this is
good.
The Murder Hawk, right?
Right.
Here.
This is good. This is good. He's not necessarily a bad guy, but he's just a mean son of a bitch.
Yeah. They come back from break because they went to a break there. Andre El Idolo was looking for Death Triangle.
Andrade, you mean?
That's what I said, didn't I?
You said Andre.
I always do that with him. Andrade El Idolo.
Yeah. Now, don't gloss over, because this is actually one of my big promos of the night. I don't know if it's for you or not.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So he's in there, and he's Alex Abrahantes, and Alex, we have a question for you. And he goes, no, I have a question for you. And he's working hard on his English. I know there are people that are dogging him. It's like, come on, it's not his native language. Anyway, he's like, I have a question for you, and he goes over to some PA or whoever the hell sitting behind him. Right? He hands him a tablet. It's got just the Death Triangle logo on it, and he goes, I'm looking for Death Triangle. Have you seen them? He goes, are you trying to challenge? Are you calling out Death Triangle? Oh, I'm not calling them out. What do you say here? I am just looking for them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, he wants to take Lucha Brothers. Oh my God, this is the Spanish Mafia incarnate, like we dreamed about, right? This has got to be it, right? He wants to kick out Pac and make, him and then be the Death Triangle, and this has got to be it. It's got to be. He wore a skull mask last week, like black. He was Black Mask is what he was, really.
Yeah.
If you're a Batman fan, he was Black Mask, but I immediately I was like, that's it. It's got to be it. It's got to be that. And that's my prediction. I'm putting it down right now.
And again, he's starting Mi Familia. I've been wanting to be called that forever. Mi Familia. Mi Familia.
Whatever. I don't care. Him
for
and the
Spanish Mafia.
Him and the Lucha Brothers. I just want to see that all day.
Every day, twice on Sunday. Oh man, yes. Please, 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 please give me that. All right, and then next we had the FTW Championship match of Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage.
Were you surprised at the pop that this got?
Yes, actually, yes. Just because of how much I hate this whole Team Taz thing.
We're over it because they've been dragging it out, and
they have. But Ricky Starks got a good pop. Brian Cage got a good pop too. So
I expect
both
Cage too. I expect Cage too for sure.
Yeah. But again, the crowd was really hot. I think again they were just like, I just want live wrestling.
Right.
Ricky definitely looked rusty.
He did.
He's been out for a little bit. He was definitely rusty there, but he did get a few good moves in there. There was a moment towards the end where he was trying to take the FTW championship belt and Hobbs took it from him and goes, "Nah, man, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that." Put a pin in that. Well, later, Hook is messing with the ref and gets him distracted. And then now, boop, Hobbs has the belt and smacks Brian Cage over the face. And then Ricky Starks hits a spear, 1, 2, 3. And we have a new FTW champion of Ricky Starks.
And Taz was all about it. So they 100%. Are definitely turning him out of the family, Cage. You're making him face, getting him out of the whole FTW.
Thank you, Jesus.
Good.
Yes. He needs to be away from that. So right after that, this got my...
Let me just buckle in here for this.
Yeah. So right after this, they're talking about what Malaki Black did, Tommy End, and said that Arn Anderson's going to be okay. And then literally like a house on fire, here comes freaking Cody Rhodes, just fired up, grabs commentary, and he starts cutting a promo on Malachi. He's like, Tommy End, Malaki Black, whatever. And then he's just like, this is crap. You know, he's like, answer the call. He's like, you know what? No, you're not getting my point. So he storms down to the ring.
He starts with a headset. He grabs a headset and does that.
Yeah,
then he's
so
like,
he's just doing commentary. He's like, no, I don't think I get a point across. And then he goes, somebody get me a mic. Rips off the headset, gets a mic, storms down to the ring, cuts another big promo about answering the call. And then here's Malaki Black up on the big screen. And in typical Tommy End fashion, artistry just... perfection.
Oh, he's so
talks
good.
about a man killing
so
a horse, and it was his favorite horse. And won him so many awards, took him all over, and all this stuff. And he's like, that look and that.
I looked in the eyes of Arn last week, and that was not the same Arn. And he compared him to an old racehorse on the farm.
Yes, and I loved it. And then, of course, Cody gets all super pissed. He's like, "What you tell me to my face?" And then Malaki Black goes,
okay.
He's like, yeah. He literally goes, I thought you'd never ask. And then
blackout.
Lights go out, blackout. Lights come back on. He's standing in the corner, and they're just start jawing, and then they start getting at it a little bit. And then here come the ref squad along with all the officials and everything, including one Jerry Lynn. Nice to see you, Jerry Lynn. They separate them.
Oh, so good.
That is going to be a feud for getting Malachi over,
and I'm all for it. I love the I have a strong feeling that Malachi, because it's so hard for me not to call him Tommy because I thought that's what we're going off of. But I think the thing is, like, this is just this is a part of him. So I think he's still whatever, because
like the faces of Foley.
Maybe we'll see, but I think he's got his hand in this because he comes out all in the suit. His whole shtick, he was full suit, full black suit, black vest, black tie, and here's Cody on the other hand, white suit, white vest, gold tie, right? So, I mean, just the imagery of this whole good versus evil shtick, and the way they're doing it here with this. I mean, it plays into it. I don't know how many people caught that, but it's clear as day to me. I'm like, my God.
People on Twitter were going nuts about it, saying, like, comparing it to Undertaker Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, their second match when he was in the white coming down from the heavens. Remember that whole thing?
Yep.
Like, and then some people, of course, the super WWE stands were just like, "Oh, that's bullshit. You can't do that." It's like it's the same kind of imagery. That's what we're trying to say. We're not saying it's the same damn match.
And the thing is, that was
the imagery.
That was for the match. This whole feud looks to be set up. Oh, this good versus evil shtick, right?
Oh God, yes, and I'm here for
Shawn Michaels, even when his faciest of face, was never a true face. So I mean, he never was. He was never the angel like he portrayed. Just for that match because he was going against the dead man, right? But that's the whole point. You mold to your opponent. But this whole thing seems to be that's the way they're going with it, and I love it because you have Cody who represents the front office, and he's being all this, and he's the TV show with his wife and the baby and the positive family man, all that stuff, and Malachi Black, this just like this dark behemoth character that Tommy End has, conjured up with apparently the most metal song ever, is what his an entrance theme is supposed to be. He had a hand in like writing it with whatever band or whatever musicians did it, and I read a thing a week or two ago that someone on his Twitch that someone was asking him about it. He was talking about the song a little bit without giving it away. And he goes, funny enough, I actually went and played it for Vince. and Vince just goes, well, I don't know what that was. I don't think that was really music, but it definitely fits whatever you're trying to do here. So you do whatever you want, yeah. So it's supposed to be like the most metal of metal songs ever. So the whole shtick, I'm all for it. I think this is great for his first feud in. I think it's good to give Cody something more than just a passing glow. Like, we don't care about the factory in him anymore. We don't.
No, not
paid it off. You had your little strap match. Please move on. You teased us with him versus Penta, right? And then that was a 1 week thing. So this gives Cody something to do instead of burying people. And it gives Malaki a great kind of intro into the. I can't talk enough about this. I love it all.
Yes, I'm here for it, and you know when you're gonna see this match, don't you?
Probably All Out in Chicago. Which who's going to be going to All Out?
These guys.
We did. We barely touched on that, but yeah, we lucked out. We were in part. Jamie got in the pre-sale. We got tickets. We got a hotel. We're going.
Yes. So if you are going to be there, send us a comment. Maybe we can meet up for some drinks, talk wrestling, whatever. Yeah, looking forward to it.
It's going to be a good
definitely
time.
we get closer to it. But yeah, leave a comment down below. Tweet at us. Let us know if you're going. Love to meet up with some of you guys. It'd be awesome. All right. So after that amazing piece, they did a quick little thing in the back. Santana and Ortiz meet up with Mr. Tully Blanchard in the back, and they act like they're gonna hit him with a crowbar, and it's actually a fake crowbar, which I thought was great. They're like, yeah, we've been taught to respect our elders, and then they just like threw it at him, and they start walking off, and then you hear Santana's like, "Bring your boys!" Like,
this
I
is the
cannot wait for
Santana
that.
Ortiz you've been clamoring for months. So
Yes. This is what I want. Okay.
Get to the main event, because it's not the main event of the show, but
It's the main event for me.
This was the highlight of the night. Period.
This is the main event for me.
And me. Even though
So-
Maki Ito's Dark Order adjacent.
Yes, she is. God, I wish she was in the Dark Order. I wish she was just over here. Anyway,
We digress.
sorry, simping, everybody. Tony Schiavone introduces one Adam Hangman Page. He comes out, big ass pop,
Biggest pop of the night.
biggest pop
By
of the
far.
night, biggest pop of the night. And he's out there. They ask about Kenny Omega, and he said literally since day one he wanted to become world champion, and he failed. And he didn't know if he ever wanted to again, but the Dark Order's right. He needs to go for it, and he wants to officially challenge. And then here comes out Don Callis. And he calls him, I wrote this down, all hat and no cattle. Is that what he said? Yes. I don't know what that means.
It's a cowboy thing of sorts. I don't. Sometimes you swing and you miss, Don. Whatever.
Yeah, so then the rest of the Elite come out with Kenny Omega and the jumpsuit wearing, I don't know, it's not a jumpsuit, it's more of a romper
No,
wearing.
they were wearing rompers, yes.
Yeah, romper wearing
Male rompers.
the Young Bucks, and then you had the rest of the Elite of Machine Gun Kelly and Doc Gallows. So they're all out there.
Anderson
They
wasn't
start
there, but yeah.
just shaming on
You just said Machine Gun Kelly, by the way. Did you catch that?
oh shit, Machine Gun Anderson.
Machine Gun Carl Anderson. Carl Anderson wasn't out there because he had a match earlier, but anyway.
Yeah, but it was all of them.
Machine Gun Kelly was not there, folks.
Machine Gun Kelly
He
was not there.
there.
I'm sorry. Jesus. So they basically just start giving Hangman a bunch of shit. And then Matt's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go in there and talk to him to his face, and he starts just basically calling him out. And then with Hangman right in his face, like, oh man, you definitely smell like you're still on the bottle, and just keeps going down. He's like, you won't hit me, you can't do it, you can't hit me because you left us for a bunch of losers. And bam, Hangman just pops him in the face, and then people start coming up into the ring. He hits their young boy a few times, and then here's Kenny Omega behind him like he's getting him with the belt, and lo and behold, who comes out to make the save?
Join the Dark Order.
Join the Dark Order.
Just
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
That is not where it ends, though, folks. God, you think
this
that's
is
it.
where it begins.
Yeah. First of all, halftime on this promo, because a couple of notes I had on the first part. Okay. First of all, Hangman did not come out with a drink in his hand.
Nope. First time.
Noteworthy.
Yes.
He's during his whole beginning shtick, right? He started to get his swagger back. The swagger he had at the very beginning. We mentioned before, if you go back to the very first show that AEW officially did, this has been in the works since then. This is the longest of long-term storytelling, God knows how long. So he's starting to get his swagger back. It was all good. And Matt played the whole thing. He basically gave a nod to all of that in his little diss segment real fast. So it was great. All right, Dark Order comes out.
Okay, so then this is where you would think it ends. Like we said, this is where it really begins.
Generally,
because Adam Hangman Page is still got the mic. He's like, I'm not leaving here without a match, and neither are you, talking to Kenny Omega. And then Kenny's like, and then here's Don Callis in his ear and everything like that. He's like, you know what? How about you and your bunch of losers face me and the rest of the elite elimination style?
Which, please, thank you. Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, and then he's like, okay.
And
then this is what happens.
It became "Do Where's My Car?" It's like, and then.
Hangman Page is like, this isn't the match I wanted, but this is the match I'm gonna get. And here's the thing: once we win, I get my shot, but these guys, the Dark Order, get a shot at the Bucks for the title. And I'm like, oh yeah, like fanboying out.
Grayson and Uno.
Yes.
Please.
So
anyway.
That happens, and of course, Omega's like, what? And then Don Callis and them are talking. There's this, pss, 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 pss. So then finally, I love this moment. Kenny Omega goes, hold on a second. And he starts walking, and he's like, let me talk to my old partner. And I'm like, I really liked how he did that. He's
I have so many notes on the second half here, too. Don't worry.
Yeah. So then he says to him, he's like, all right, but we don't get anything out of that. The elite doesn't get anything out of that. So, if you lose, those guys, when you lose, those guys don't get their tag team, and then you don't get your shot at the title, and you walk away. You go run home to mom and ma and pa, which I love how he said that.
Uh-huh.
And he's talking about all the wins and things that you did in the past, but not anything moving forward. I'm like, And then he starts walking out. And this is the thing that got me the most. And it caught my ear.
Oh, you did catch this, because this is my final note. But yeah, okay.
Yes, this caught my ear because Adam Page goes, the Dark Order never backs down from a challenge. You're on. He didn't say, the Dark Order and the Dark Order.
He identified as Dark Order for the first time.
Yes, 100% just identified as Dark Order.
And
that's what I got.
If you missed it, go watch another YouTube. It'll be either the one or two moment of the night. It's possible Malaki could beat it, but still, he absolutely did.
100% said that, and so at some point we are going to have an elimination style match of the Elite versus the Dark Order with Adam Hangman Page, or just the Dark Order now, by the sounds of it. And there you go. So the long-term storytelling of not only the AEW championship, but the long-term storytelling of the Dark Order and Adam Hangman Page is all coming together into one big thing. And
I mean, but this has been intertwined. This is part of that, like, the long arc. And like I said, there was a guy, I could remember who it was, but a dude on Twitter broke it down just expertly. He just wonderfully. And it even included the whole thing with the Dark Order. Dark Order was fledgling because it became this like a little offshoot that ran parallel. Because you remember during the early BTE sections with the Dark Order, when Brody Lee first came in, he ran into Brody Lee in the backstage one time, and it was like, "Oh yeah, I sent the email to that website you guys had. I sent the forum. I didn't hear about anything, so I guess whatever." And then walks away. And so Brody Lee wanted to get him. So the idea was, for those of you who haven't followed this and read it and checked it out, because it's unbelievably well done, is that, I think the thought was that Brody Lee is the evil cult leader of the Dark Order, right? Mm-hmm. And then Hangman Page is the guy who ends up saving the Dark Order guys. The long term, if Brody didn't pass away, it was going to be like this kind of good Dark Order, bad Dark Order, and then they go over to him, eventually, and whatever. But that just shows you like the forethought that even with this additional like branch that you brought in halfway through, and just even with that, you let it go for a year and a half, 2 years. It's like unbelievable that this is the payoff we're getting. My guess is, because next week's card is booked already, and they're not on it.
Fight for the
earliest this could be is Fight for the Fallen, 2 weeks in North Carolina. Kenny Omega has to be in a match because you got to hear Justin Roberts do that in North Carolina. I mean, it has to be.
It's no longer Flair country. That's Omega country.
Yeah. So. That's a 2 weeks. So that's about a month out of All Out. And to me, that makes the most sense. I don't know if they'll do the tag championship with the Dark Order at All Out. I hope they do. Because, goddamn, we're going to be in the crowd. It's going to be awesome. But this match you don't do if it's not the pay-per-view. And your biggest pay-per-view of the year, this is really it. Page and Hangman, you can't do – I'm sorry, you can't do this on a Wednesday night. You can't.
You're doing your brand a disservice if you do that.
Right. It's like you're doing Michael's Undertaker, basically, or Flair Hogan in Flair Hogan 1989. If you were to do that on a random Saturday night main event.
Yeah.
If only that happened in '89 instead of whenever the hell it ended up, like '97 or whatever. But okay. Last little note here about that is that. After he accepted for the Dark Order, they seemed a bit shocked by that. Did you catch that?
Yeah, a little bit.
And we'll see how that plays out. But
I'm here for it.
So good.
I wonder if it's gonna be brought up on Being the Elite, because I don't know if you've been watching like Sammy's vlog and Ethan Page's.
They're looking for a new
vlog.
home.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Well, that just shows you like it's even more. This story is going through these web vlog series. I mean, Jesus Christ. Vince only wishes he could write a long-term story this good.
Yeah. It's. Whew. It was my moment of the night, and we still have a Coffin match to go.
Yeah, we still got a lot. Let's keep going. Let's plow through this, man.
All right, so then you have Chris Jericho doing this thing about the 5 labors. He gets attacked by MJF and Shawn Spears, and his first labor will be him going against Shawn Spears next week, where Spears can use a chair, but Jericho cannot.
I love it. The labors of Jericho. It's fantastic. I love it. Okay.
It is great. The next match was Matt Hardy and Christian Cage.
Which, interestingly enough, they got about the same amount of pop. And this is where both of them should be.
Yep.
Like, don't put Matt Hardy against Darby Allin. Don't put Christian Cage against Darby. This is where they should be, because this was fun and fine by themselves. And
it was. I enjoyed this match.
Because they're not trying to go against Jungle Boy or somebody that they're wildly slower and weaker than.
They're not putting anybody over. They're not. Yeah, no.
It's a fan service match. It's good for the middle of the card because you get to see the face. It's a draw match. You get to see the face. And you see the face go against somebody who makes a decent match because they're equal. So yes.
Yeah.
Good.
So Matt Hardy, Christian Cage is a solid match. Ends up with Christian hitting the kill switch. 1, 2, 3.
Great
Christian
name, but not for
actually
that.
gets his first win. It's the Unprettier.
It's
The Unprettier.
It's a great name, just not for that. Not for that move. It's a great name in general. Sorry.
That's his first singles match ever. Victory over Matt Hardy.
I know. I was like, wait, could that be? Apparently so. So hey, good for him.
Yep. The HFO come out, but then Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus come out. Whatever. Then right after that, oh my God, our Redeemer, Miro, cuts an excellent promo.
God's favorite champion. That's right.
God's favorite champion. But not only did he cut a great promo, we are on iteration number 3 of the TNT Championship belt.
I know.
It is no longer on a red belt. It is on a beautiful white.
Well, red was retired, remember, because that was the Dark Order. It was black.
Yes, it was black. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we're on iteration 4.
No,
Holy shit.
Well, the first one was a prototype. The first one Cody had because it was halfway done when the pandemic struck. So I don't count that as an iteration.
Okay. So we'll do iteration 3.
Iteration 3.
And it's beautiful. It's white with silver and gold, but now the champion across the bottom is in green, and it is beautiful.
Belts by Dan is the person who made it. Go on Twitter and look up Belts by Dan.
Yes. But my God, it's beautiful. And then he signed off. The way he signed off was "Your Redeemer," and it was ended. I'm like, yes, I love this Miro.
This Miro's so good. It's so good. This is the best version of him, I think. One last note about the belt is that the side plates too. They look to have from the it's like some Cyrillic language on a ribbon, and then an old timey like crest of some sorts. And I'm thinking that's got to be a Bulgarian thing. And then it hit me before we started recording tonight. I'm like, they're making a new version of this belt for every champion. Instead of doing interchangeable side plates, they're putting new side plates on it. And I'm like, wait a minute, but there's the green. What does the green have to do with anything? It's one of Bulgaria's colors, but it doesn't have to do with AEW. Shit, nothing. They're making a new belt for every time there's a new TNT champion. That's awesome, I think.
Yeah, it's
because it's not changing the belt. You wouldn't know unless you're like right up next to it. It's just it's on a different strap. You're whatever. But then you get up next to it, you notice all the. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's like everybody gets their own custom belt now. So that's really cool. So right after this, Tony Schiavone gets to interview our women's champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And she's out there. She spits mad fire like she always does. The one thing I got out of this, number one, was she was talking right at Vicky Guerrero and says, Vicky, you have a last name that will get you a job in wrestling.
For the rest of your life, yeah.
For the rest of your life. I'm like, damn. But Nyla, not so much. It's like, oh my God.
I know.
It was a great promo. Then right after that, they showed Nyla and Vicky watching it at the end. And they say some stuff and whatever, but it's setting up for this match for night 2. Looking forward to Britt Baker's first title defense and victory, because if she loses, that is the biggest mistake
they could not take that belt off her. And if I was going to make a prediction here, I think that Thunder Rosa's the play for All Out.
I do too, because interestingly enough about Thunder Rosa, I did have this in my notes I wanted to talk about.
All right, well, hey, segue, go.
Did you know she just released her first AEW t-shirt today?
That's interesting.
And a lot of the Mission
Wait, I thought she had a t-shirt already for AEW.
No. Well, she had one that was hers, but they were selling it for hers. But this one actually has the AEW logo.
Okay.
So,
and
also,
what was the second bit?
A lot of the people from Mission Pro Wrestling, thank you, Internet Wrestling Community, Twitter, for pointing this out. They were throwing up all elite images all over their stuff. The people who work for Mission Pro Wrestling.
Do you think AEW bought Mission Pro?
Or it's a partnership? Interesting, right?
I got the beard. I got to use it.
So I would love to hear the fan theories from all of you because, my God, that just, it's titillating. Just
Well, and
the
there's
thoughts
some,
of it.
there are some good. There's some good prospects there. We've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of them already. You know, there's Maddie
Hashtag
Rinkowski,
genocide.
Genocide. Well, Genocide is also connected with
NWA.
Is that what it is? I thought it was MLW.
Yeah,
NWA.
yeah, she's in
NWA. But I mean, you got Genocide. You got Maddie Rinkowski, Tesha Price,
Rekateka.
Rekateka, was it Alex Garcia or Alexa Garcia?
Alex Gracia.
Gracia, is that what it was? Okay, yeah, I'm butchering it.
She's
I
dating
know.
Scorpio Sky. You'd know that if you're on the grams. Just saying.
I am on the gram, but apparently not enough. But anyway,
Actually, you know what? But here's the thing with
there's
that.
a bunch of good talent.
I'm like, you know,
Marty
'cause
Bell,
usually
too.
like if a guy is like dating like a girl way out of her league, like good job, guy. I'm saying good job, Alex Gracia, because like I don't care who you are, but Scorpio Sky is a pretty man, and even my wife and Megan Two Belts completely agrees with that statement. So. Just wanted to say
Hey,
congratulations.
we're secure enough. He is a handsome looking man.
Yes.
She has 2 T-shirts, and there is an AEW logo on her previous T-shirt.
Okay, cool. Okay, I thought that one was the separate one.
It's the black one with the word Thunder Rosa and all like the design around it. There's
Okay.
a little AEW right there, but the red one is great. Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm on Shop AEW. I need to stop that. All right, let's go back. Let's do this. Let's do this whole podcast thing. Let's go back to that.
Okay. Oh yeah. I guess we gotta do that. John Moxley just says he's the hunter, not the hunted, and he says that next week, next week, Lance Archer will be Texas dead.
Texas born, Texas bred, and as of next week, it'll be Texas dead.
Texas dead.
Like,
Yeah, so good. So that is
that
done.
match. I have no idea what a Texas death match is compared to a regular death match. So
It's the same death match. It's just Texas.
in Texas, it's got
Yeah.
cowbells and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe some barbecue sauce, something. Or dry rub. Texas doesn't do barbecue sauce. They do
Get
dry
yourself a
rub.
bull rope out there. Maybe you gotta throw Dustin Rhodes at each other. I don't know.
All right, so then you have the debut of Wheeler Utah with Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor because he's their protege. Never heard of him until just now, so he must have been let's get filler and say he's with them.
He's been on Dark. Apparently, he's the guy that Chuck has been with the Chuck school. Chuck trained, or is some affiliation of some sort. But he's been on Dark a few times. And whatever.
And he was going against the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara.
Second biggest pop of the night.
Second biggest. He is so fucking over.
Oh,
it
his
hurts.
future is ungodly bright, and Jr. hinted at it
He's where
like
she
4
is.
times. You know.
Oh yeah, JR is in love with the future for that guy. Like, and JR knows a thing or two about talent.
He sees that in a decade, he's going to be probably like I said. We've been calling it forever. That by the way, Jungle Boy got a huge pop earlier too when he came out. But Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, MJF. Next decade is just good. 10 years from now, they're going to be just
The pillars
through the
they're
fucking roof.
They're going to be the pillars.
Oh, my
and they're
God, it's gonna
all
be so good.
not ex WWE people. So all those guys are like, AEW just signs the WWE guys because they don't have real talent. Well, first off, if you think that, first, go fuck yourself. 2, their biggest feud, the number 1 feud right now is Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. Last time I checked, neither one of them were in WWE. And then like these homegrown talents of Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, you know, all these guys, not WWE, and they're huge. They're bigger stars than some of those WWE guys who came over. So
Yep.
thinking that they're just doing that is ridiculous.
That's just
small.
Don't play to the trolls. Don't even play to those trolls.
Yep.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yes, you're dead wrong. All right,
Did,
so this is
did Sammy win this match? I have no idea.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Sammy
he did. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Sammy did his go to sleep, but he calls it
He
the
did
go to
so
hell.
much flippy spinny shit. It was great.
yeah.
He did a take on Andrade's double backflip. Backflipped off the
Yes.
top rope, backflipped again this time, and then he jumped over him, backflipped again into a shooting star press, standing shooting star.
Standing shooting star press.
I'm like, flippy spinny, just shit all over the place. It was unbelievable. There's a top row shooting star press, 450. Oh my God.
Yeah, then he did a springboard in the corner from one rope to the other into the cutter. That was really awesome.
He walked up the ropes, jumped from one rope to the other side rope as a springboard back into a diamond cutter.
Yeah, Sammy's the shit. So Sammy wins. Okay, so this one was interesting. It was Penelope Ford versus Yuka Sakazaki. So, like I said, the crowd was hot all night, except for Penelope Ford.
Yeah,
They were silent. Like, oh, it's Penelope Ford. Like, it's kind of one of those things. Which sucks because she's a good wrestler.
She's a good wrestler. She's a good-looking woman. I mean, you have at least some of that. This is not her first rodeo. It's not like she's unknown.
But nothing. Like, dead silence for her.
I was like...
Yuka got a good pop.
She did. She kept getting good pop, which is interesting.
And I like her music, though. I like that. It's like, it's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wins. She did her leaping springboard splash thing. 1, 2, 3. She gets the win over Penelope Ford. It was an okay match. I mean, like, it was just quick because they just had to get their token women's match of the night in because they had all this other stuff going on.
Come on, you were doing. I know this is, you have all this other stuff you're building. I get it, but you were doing better there for a hot minute. AEW, get back to better with the women. Get some more better women for one. Hey, Ruby, just saying.
She's been said hey to 3 times now in this show. All right, so then we get to the main event of the night, and that's the Coffin match, aka casket match, but you can't use the term casket match because that's owned property by WWE, so they have to call it a Coffin match. Also because somebody does a coffin drop, and this is Ethan Page and Darby Allin. Talk about a good-looking man again. My wife really, really, really likes herself some Ethan Page, and I don't blame her.
She's like, that is a pretty piece of human being. Okay,
I know. Yeah. But anyway, this match was bonkers. Like, lots of fighting on the outside
from the start. And here's one thing I do want to say I appreciate. Mm-hmm. Unlike WWE, this match, because the only thing that matters in this match, the only thing that matters is that you put your opponent in a coffin and you close the lid. That's it. That's the only rule. This match started. There's 2 refs there, both at ringside, both by the coffin. Not a fucking ref in the ring, because that's what it should be. And if this is WWE, you'd have a ref following them around the whole damn time.
Yeah, and even when because they started fighting in the middle of the crowd. There was a spot where Darby was getting ready to open the coffin, and out comes Scorpio Sky and starts beating the shit out of him. And of course, when you have Scorpio Sky out there and no one for Darby, that's not for long, because guess what? It's Sting!
You gotta get the big Scorpion out there, yeah.
Yeah, the big Scorpion with little Scorpion. But anyway, so those two start going at it in the crowd. So fighting goes on everywhere. Fast forward a little bit. They get the ring, they get the steps to the ring inside the ring. And it looks like Ethan Page is going to get coffin dropped on top of that. Like, it gets set up, but he jumps over there and hits Darby Allin in the back, and he does an
Ego's
drop.
Edge from the top.
Ego's Edge.
He's on the second rope with
on
Darby
the second
on
rope.
the top.
Yes, on the second rope does the Ego's Edge onto the steps. Like, onto the flat part of the steps, and it looked like it hurt.
It's
so bad.
They showed the replay, and his tailbone went like bent in the middle of the steps. The steps weren't like WWE steps that are 2-piece. There's one giant thing with all 4 steps. This is why Ethan Page had to undo the bottom rope. He undid the whole turnbuckle and released, because they couldn't slide it in without that.
Yeah, and they're not strong enough to throw that big monstrosity
It's one
over.
big, like the 4 steps there is in one piece. So, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was insane.
Oh,
So at this point, Ethan thought he had it. He starts dragging him over towards the coffin, and as he puts him on the shoulder to do it, and the next thing you know, here comes Darby like scratching his eyes out and all this stuff, and like gouges his eyes, like and bites him. Then he pulls out a skateboard and hops on it and then he pops it on the back of him, and then he throws Ethan into the coffin, closes the lid.
Right.
So
and,
your
yay,
winner,
he won the match. Yay.
Darby Allin. But that's not the end, no, because they have to have it go a step further when it's him. So after he's done that, he pulls out the coffin a little bit. He gets up on the top rope, and the coffin's not
on
in
the
ring.
outside.
It's on the side. It's on the outside of the ring. He does a coffin drop onto the coffin.
It's coffinception.
Coffinception. Yeah, coffin match. It does a coffin drop onto the coffin.
Which, of course, he did.
Which got a ridiculous pop. Amazing show.
Fun.
Next week looks like it's going to be even crazier.
Oh my God! Next week, the cards are just. Which I said we had said it was reported that apparently Tony Khan wanted to go balls to the wall for the first several shows here, right?
He didn't lie. So
they're
far,
doing it. They're going.
Shit.
And,
And there's more surprises around the corner. So the thing is now they've set this bar, but I want to call this out since they are in front of fans again. They're doing their thing. Is there a better product out there right now? Period.
I want to say
Objectively.
I
Not
mean,
subjectively.
and, you know,
This is an
we
objective thing.
because we may be a little biased, right? You know, but
Yeah.
when you really look at it, dissect the products that are out there, right? You know, Japan is very consistent. New Japan is very consistent with the way it's been. That's kind of their thing, right?
Yeah.
AAA, I won't even include in it because of their situation, what's going on in Mexico. They're barely putting on shows, right? So, you know, don't even put them in. Impact is good, but it feels like a minor league compared to this, right? Raw, no.
No, absolutely not.
SmackDown, no. And if you're still on board that SmackDown's the best wrestling promotion there is out there in the world, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. NXT is good, but I don't know. It feels like, especially tonight, you know, like we started off when we started talking about it or a little bit ago. It feels like this is like season 2 premiere almost. It felt like, I don't know. It feels like it's head and shoulders above everything else.
It feels miles. Like, and the thing was too, like their bad matches were still good matches. You know, you had a couple duds, but everything else was so good. Like this show was a spot fest for me. Like it was a 4.
I would give it a Spotfest, yeah.
Yeah, out of our 5-star ranking, it's a 4-star. It hit a lot.
But I will say this. I will say that them with the fans is because they were not like at Daly's place, you know, and this there was like, you know, 300 fans or whatever. It didn't feel like this, right?
Mm-hmm. It has a completely different atmosphere.
It felt like on par with like NXT. Impact wasn't far behind. WWE's whatever it is, you know, but this now feels so much more. Maybe it's just their renewed spirit. Maybe it gives you hope that WWE, when it hits the road, will be better. It could be. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm with you. I tell you what. You guys tell us what you think. Give us a comment below or hit us up on Twitter at Total Spotfest. What do you think is the best promotion right now? Do you agree with us? Is AEW miles above the rest? Are they just barely? Is it pretty even? Is there something else you like better? Let us know because we want to hear from you.
Absolutely. Please. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback.
Okay. So
that was
AEW.
Dynamite Fyter
that was
Fest
AEW.
night 1.
We'll be back next week for night 2. So, a real quick quote note here. You said you did have something kind of prepared. Did you want to go ahead and do that or no?
Yeah, I mean this one should be easy.
Yeah, that's okay. We had a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight, so we're just gonna go a little long. Bear with us, guys. It happens.
I'll just do this day in wrestling history because I love doing that.
All right, what you got?
So, in honor of Megan Two Belts, I figured this one was pretty good on her
Hashtag not my
birthday. So
champion.
this was the 13th. Her birthday, her very first birthday was Friday 13th. That's for me. But on this day, July 13th, in 2015, yes, 2015.
6 years ago. Okay.
On an episode of Monday Night Raw,
Okay.
the Divas Revolution officially started when Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch made their roster debuts. And then right after that was Sasha Banks.
Okay.
So the Women's Revolution officially started 6 years ago.
I disagree with that statement.
Well,
but-
from WWE's mouth, the Divas Revolution truly
Well,
kicks off.
yes,
then.
the marketing machine. I have long championed the fact that women's wrestling's revolution was TNA's was TNA through that first stone by
Yeah.
far.
WWE's.
But WWE's first movement, okay, sure. I mean, it's very interesting that I don't know. It feels like it's longer than 6 years. Does that sound bad?
It does. Like, it feels like forever ago.
I know 2020 was like a decade, right? So I mean, there's that.
My goodness, yeah.
But it feels like more than 6 years. It doesn't feel like it was 6 years ago. It feels like it was like longer than that. Interesting.
Yeah, so Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Sasha Banks all made their debut in 2015, July 13th.
Which is interesting because the one horsewoman, because there was at the time there was the 4 horsewomen of WWE, and there's also around the time when the 4 horsewomen of MMA, Ronda Rousey's stable, with Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir, where they were teasing the whole idea about being professional wrestlers, right? So but Bayley got left behind, and everyone's just like, wait, what about Bayley? What about Bayley?
Yeah, and up until Bayley got hurt, she was back to a meteoric rise again of being.
Oh my God, I
on the
love
top.
this. I love Ding Dong Hello Bayley so much. I really do. As much as I shit on WWE's products, there are certain things that I like. You know,
same.
I mean, shit. They're giving Ricochet airtime every Monday. He's been going up against Morrison, which I've been catching like snippets of their matches and watching clips online through WWE's Twitter. Oh my God, the two of them finally. But anyway, interesting. So 6 years ago, Women's Revolution started. We saw it hot and heavy for a bit, and then lately, what happened? What happened,
Yeah.
WWE?
Yeah, I mean, they can't just ride them. They had to build more bench strength, and they had the bench strength, and they pissed it all away.
Well, I mean, just mismanaged. Talk about mismanagement, because you had all you said you had all this stuff, and NXT was a gold mine of women's talent. Mm-hmm. You even have stuff that's over. The Iconics, so over, right? And I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or what, but it feels, honest to God, I feel like them being in Thunderdome gives Vince too much, in his mind to do things the way he wants, because he can't see a reaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because let's break up the Iconics. Let's break up Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Let's put Mandy Rose with Dana Brooke and put them in like S&M demolition gear. Let's do just have everything be Charlotte Flair. Let's do this. Let's do that. Oh, we can fire Ruby. Fuck you. It's like we can get rid of all these people. Whatever. Just do this. It feels like that because. This is around the same. When was Give Divas a Chance? Was that about the same time or?
I think so.
Because I know that there are those who say that was the start of the women's revolution. So it's debated a little bit. But WWE is officially saying it's when Charlotte and Becky
Yeah, because I think it was right around the time AJ Lee dropped the belt to Paige, and then maybe... God, that was...
It was one of the Bellas they had. I think it was down Bryan's. What was that? Brie.
Brie
Brie had a 4-second match with somebody,
Yeah.
And the crowd just lost their shit, not in a good way. And that's what started the hashtag Give Divas a Chance, whatever. And then I remember Stephanie McMahon had a big whole thing where she came out and, we're not divas anymore and all this stuff. And then, interesting. Okay, well, this day in wrestling history. There you go. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought you might appreciate that one.
All right, we have a pay-per-view this weekend, by the way. For those of you who didn't know, it's not what's going on Sunday. Apparently there's one on Sunday, too. I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah.
It's, Money in is it Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank. I'll probably have it on the background just to see the Money in the Bank matches because...
Yeah, I need to cancel my Peacock subscription.
Oh, the thing is, there's actually some good stuff on Peacock. Like, they have a good back catalog. I'm not going to lie.
I'd rather have Paramount.
There's too many damn subscription services for one.
Yeah.
All right. But Saturday night for us is important because that's Slammiversary. Kenny Omega versus Sami Callihan in a now no DQ match, by the way. Just added today.
Nice. Didn't see that coming.
So good. Ultimate X is back. Deonna Purrazzo versus the mystery opponent. They're going to have somebody who was released 3 months ago show up, even if it's just for that night. They will make an appearance. They do every year. Impact does. Who's it going to be? The Iconics? Well, they can't get visas, so probably not, but we don't know. So it's going to be very interesting what's going on there. So we are going to, next Tuesday on our show, we're going to give you the results and all that. We're waiting for the show to happen tonight just to make sure the card's finalized before we do our picks because, like I said, Jamie's off on softball trip all weekend, basically. I say trip, it's, he's going to be at a softball field for like 3 days straight. So we're going to give our picks out, and then we'll just tell you what they are. We'll go over the pay-per-view results and give you the picks this coming Tuesday. So FYI, that's coming up. Then we'll be back again on Thursday, talk about Fyter Fest Night 2. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I know we went long tonight, but we do appreciate it for those of you who made it to the end. You are my favorite people. I hope to see all of you July 30th at Blip Roasters. For those of you who have tickets, we so amped. And believe you me, we're going to talk the shit out of that show the following Tuesday. It's going to be a great night. So,
yes.
Jamie, do you have any last things you want to say to anything at all?
Nope, I got nothing, guys.
All right, I'll thank you guys again and take us home, Jamie.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Total Spotfest, I got 2 words for you. Cowboy shit.
Yes! Fuck yes. All right,
Yes.
thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.